You're listening to the Dibbly Dobbly podcast. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and click the bell to make sure you get the latest episodes of the podcast. Be sure to like and share our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter and on Instagram. Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Dibbly Dobbly podcast. On today's episode of the podcast, we summarise Day 4 of the second Ashes Test between Australia and England from the Adelaide Oval. It's the Dibbly Dobbly podcast, and let's get started. Let's have a look at the session-by-session breakdown of Day 4 of the second Ashes Test from the Adelaide Oval. In the first session of play, saw night watchman Michael Neser go for 3, bowled Anderson. Harris then went for 23, caught Buttler, bowled Broad. Then Smith got out for 6, caught Buttler, bowled Robinson. Labuschagne and Head added 50 runs for the 5th wicket partnership, which saw Australia to lunch 4 down for 134. In the second session of play on Day 4, Travis Head got out for 51, caught Stokes, bowled Robinson. He and Marnus Labuschagne added 89 runs for the 5th wicket partnership. Then Labuschagne got out for 51, caught Stokes, bowled Malan. Then Carey got out for 6, bowled Root. Then Stark for 19, caught Pope, bowled Root. And Jai Richardson was the last Australian wicket to fall for 8. Caught Buttler, bowled Malan as Australia declared 9 for 230 with a lead of 467 runs. England lost 1 wicket before the tea break. That was Hamid for a duck. Caught Carey, bowled Jai Richardson. England were 1 for 20 at tea. In the final session of play, England lost 3 wickets. Malan was the first to go for 20 LBW to Neser. Then Burns, 34, caught Smith, bowled Jai Richardson. And the big wicket, Joe Root, just before stumps, gone for 24, caught Carey, bowled Stark. England at stumps are 4 for 82 with Ben Stokes at the crease, 3 not out. That's the session-by-session breakdown of Day 4 of the second Ashes Test from the Adelaide Oval. What are my thoughts on the day? I thought it was a very good day for Australia again. Another dominant day in this Test match for Australia on Day 4. Australia struggled to score runs in the first session of Day 4. England were bowling really well to them. They were pitching the ball up fuller, challenging the Australian batsmen, which England didn't do in the first innings. They were able to do it in the second innings on the morning of Day 4. And Australia found run scoring difficult. And they lost early wickets as well. They lost night watchman Michael Neser early. Then Marcus Harris soon followed him. Then they lost Steve Smith. And they found themselves 4 down for 55 and in a bit of trouble. And Labuschagne and Travis Head combined, and the pair added 89 for the 5th wicket partnership, which really got Australia going in their second innings and were able to get the Australian innings up and going and the momentum back with Australia in terms of run scoring. They were able to score the runs freely and get Australia past that 450 lead, which Australia got in the end, and they were able to declare in the second innings and had that opportunity to bowl to England in that second session in Day 4. So Labuschagne batted well for his half-century along with Travis Head, who's just in terrific touch following his century at the Gabba. I thought Cameron Green batted well for his 33 not out, and all of those contributions really helped Australia in terms of getting that lead past 450, and they had that option of declaring in the second session 9 down for 230, and they were looking to bowl a few overs to England just before the tea break, and they were able to get an early wicket just before the tea break, and that was Jai Richardson getting rid of Hamid for a duck, caught behind by Carey for the first wicket for Australia, just before the tea break. And then after tea, I thought Australia really bowled well. They really bowled well in that night session. The ball was doing a bit. Nathan Lyon was getting the ball to turn and grip dramatically past the outside edge of the England batsmen. And then Australia were able to pick up 3 wickets in that last session of play, obviously to put England under pressure, 4 down for 82 at stumps on Day 4. They got rid of Darwin Malan for 20. Then they got rid of Rory Burns for 34. Then Mitchell Stark came on to bowl the last over of the day, and he got the big wicket, the prize wicket of Joe Root, just before stumps on Day 4. He got him out for 24, caught behind by Carey. And you could see the Australians were very ecstatic and very happy to get rid of Joe Root just before stumps on Day 4. Obviously, Joe Root battling an abdominal injury. He was in a bit of discomfort and in a bit of pain. He fought on, but Mitchell Starc got the better of him and got him out just before stumps. So that was a very important wicket for Australia, and that pretty much summed up their day, a pretty dominant day for the Australian team. So they're well on their way to winning this Test match, Australia, and hoping to get a 2-0 series lead. So overall, it was a great day for Australia yet again. For England, I thought they actually bowled well in the first session, and I thought they actually won the first session. And they haven't won too many sessions in this Test match, obviously, because Australia's just dominated. But I thought they bowled well in the first session. They were able to take wickets and able to put Australia under pressure. They bowled the ball a little bit fuller, therefore challenging the Australian batsmen. They weren't able to do that in the first innings, but they did that in the second innings. The bowlers had a meeting before the start of day 4, and they said, right, let's pitch the ball up a bit fuller, challenge the batsmen, and that's what they did. But unfortunately, England weren't able to do that, as Australia were able to get the momentum back. Obviously, Labuschagne and Head were able to score runs, and Cameron Green as well. And that pretty much got Australia going and got the lead to 450 and beyond. So England could not sustain that pressure as they built up in the first session into the second session when Australia were looking to declare and looking to score quick runs. Once again, with England, they lost early wickets with the bat. And losing Joe Root just before stumps on day 4 is a big blow to England in terms of their chances of trying to save this Test match, because Joe Root's been in the form of his career and life, scoring runs for fun. Unfortunately for England and for England fans, it was not ideal losing him just before stumps on day 4. Mitchell Starc was able to get him out just before day 4 ended. So that's a big blow for England, but they got Ben Stokes out there. Who's out there. At least he can show some fight and resilience with the bat, and that's what England's batsmen need to do. It's going to be a big challenge for them to try and draw this Test match. So they need every batsman coming in from now on in to really show that fight and resilience. Obviously, you think Australia will go on to win this Test match, but England, they just need to show a bit of character and fight. Even if they do lose this Test match badly, their batsmen just need to show a bit of fight and character. But overall, it was a mixed day for England. They are up against it in this Test match. It's going to be a challenge for them to try and save it. But it's Test cricket, and funny things have happened in Test cricket. But overall, it was a pretty dominant day by Australia, and they should go on and win this second Test match from the Adelaide Oval. What can we expect from both teams heading into day 5? Well, it's pretty simple for Australia. They'll be looking to take early wickets and looking to take the 6 remaining wickets to bowl England out and to go 2-0 up in this Ashes series. So pretty much for Australia, it will be trying to bowl good lines and lengths and be consistent and challenging the England batsmen and hopefully get the 6 wickets and win this Test match. So it's pretty straightforward for Australia on day 5. For England, their task is pretty straightforward. They'll be looking to try and bat out the day, try to last 3 sessions to try and draw this Test match and get something out of this Test match, because it has not gone to plan for England in this Test match from start to finish. It won't be easy though. It's very difficult to try and bat for a draw and try and save a Test match, and given England's fragile batting at the moment and losing Joe Root just before day 4 ended is not ideal for England. So the rest of the England batsmen need to show that fight, mental toughness and resilience and character. Try and dig in and try and bat time if they can. But it's going to be a very difficult task for England to try and save this Test match, because the Australian bowlers are up and about and they'll be looking to try and get these 6 wickets to end this Test match. So for England, they need to show a bit of fight, a bit of resilience. Even if they do go to lose this Test match badly, they just need to show some fight and character with the bat. So it's going to be a challenge for their batsmen to try and survive the day, and they're definitely up against it. So for England, they just need to show that fight and resilience. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell to get the latest episodes of the podcast, and like and share our Facebook page, and follow us on Twitter and on Instagram. Until next time, keep safe, and bye for now.